just make sure this is all functioning appropriately. It says we are nice and live. Sending data, sending data. I just want to online with LinkedIn. Perfect. And then we'll wait for that to happen. I wonder how, so last time when I was on my phone, says I was going live, and there's a little bit of a delay on LinkedIn. So it's like a 40-second delay, which is really funny. So we're going to be getting, it's interesting, Twitch is having some trouble, but LinkedIn is not. But LinkedIn is the main one that matters. So heck with it. See if I can find
In your previous
myself.
streams, did you communicate with the audience at all as far as questions being asked?
Oh, totally, yeah.
Or...
So we should be getting a good amount of questions. Let's wait
fantastic.
and see if we can find me. And if not, I can send myself the link on my phone. See if I can find myself. Because last time a little notification popped up and said, Max Miro is live. And that would be amazing. Yeah. Let's see. Come on, come on. Because if I don't pull it up on my phone, or if I don't pull it up on this little thing right here, then we're not going to be able to see the comments that people are doing. So we should be live, and it should be up. I just need to find it. Let's make this heckin' happen. So how about video views? Aha! Here we are. There we go. So let's go copy the link to the post. We'll go and post it here. This is great. So I guess I can just find it there. Join us now. Bop. There we go. And then I myself am going to visit. So this looks good. Yeah, there we are. Let's see if we can get comments. And I'm going to make sure that I want to not play the audio. Getting a lot here. So I guess I can just find it there. Bop. Cool. Let's see if we can make these comments happen. Here we go. Awesome.
All right.
Anna's giving me sass.
Hey.
All right, cool. Awesomeness. We're ready. We're live. We're going.
We're on.
So, hey everybody. I'm Max Miro. I do EntrepreNerd. That's my whole little thing. So let's see if I can edit this. Edit post. This is different. We're discussing. What are we discussing, Seth? We are discussing how to use LaunchPass to build a online subscription business. Subscription. Oh heck. Subscription chat business. Save. Cool. And online.
Awesome.
We're good to go. All right, cool. So again, I'm Max. I run the EntrepreNerd series. This is EntrepreNerd. We are live on Twitch and on LinkedIn. Sorry for the flubbing for the first 2 minutes. And this is Seth Lesky, and you should be able to see him in your little bottom right corner down here, waving him around.
Hey, this is Seth Lesky. I'm the founder of LaunchPass, and we make it really easy to charge for access, subscription access to chat groups. So currently with Slack and Discord. Doing it for 4 years now.
That's super cool, yeah. And I found you initially through a friend of mine. It was, who was it? Jerry Yu, a friend of mine. I think you talked to him a little bit because he was building something called Cultra, and Cultra is a neat little tool it's kind of like the, let's say Trello for your personal life, right? So if you're solving personal goals, or you're trying to achieve goals in your personal life, there's not really a workflow tool that helps with that kind of thing. And so he's building Cultra to essentially fix that problem, and he wanted to create
personal project management.
Exactly,
which is
personal
pretty
project
sweet
management. I like it a lot, yeah, and I'm trying to help him as much as I can with it. But we were talking about paid groups and how I was planning to do a couple of different little things with different groups. He recommended you, and now we're talking.
Very cool.
And it's super great. So yeah, cool. So you build this business. I didn't know that you've been doing it for 4 years. That's awesome. That's very impressive.
Yeah, we started just on Slack, and it was a entrepreneurial project within another company, and wanted to really just push out an MVP, minimal viable product, put it out into the world and see what the response was before investing a lot of time, energy, and money into something, which is we figured people could use our tool to do the same.
I love it.
Quickly test something and to see if it has legs.
I love that a lot. Yeah, no, that's super, super cool. And that's one of the big problems. It's one of the big things about EntrepreNerd. I was just telling you before we started the stream. Like one of the big things that I promote and that I'm all about, and I'm trying to build a website around it, is basically that there's so much hype around these large unicorn startup-y businesses, right? But um, they don't talk about the lifestyle companies. They don't talk about slow growth or small growth or testing little things in the beginning without like pushing a ton into the actual product, because everybody that I talk to, especially students is where it's the worst, because they pay attention to people like Gary Vee, they pay attention to people like Tony Robbins, and there's so much hype around just like get a code or like build a cool product or computer science or early product development, all that jazz, but there's not enough around just building something and prototyping something with existing tools. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And there's actually a really cool resource just before we get started. There's a really, really cool group. I'm actually talking with the founder. It's called MakerPad, makerpad.co. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but this is kind of your stuff. You may want to talk to them if you can get in touch with them, because what they do.
Well, this looks great.
Yeah, this is really cool. So what they do is essentially it's like build your next idea, find tools, find tools to build projects without code, and that's their whole situation. And it's not necessarily for people like me, especially, but like the lessons are still immensely powerful, right? So it's more for like if you are a business owner or you are a freelancer or you are like doing something on your own and trying to make your life more efficient or your website more efficient or your database more efficient. This is how you can build little things for your business. So marketplaces, e-commerce, anything to make things easier for you. It's not especially related to like building businesses yourself and selling that as a product, like building products. I'm more focused around using tools to build products that I can sell. But still, this is like awesome. Like they use Bubble to create web apps. They use Standard Library to create automation. Webflow is what I'm building my website on, and you can link everything into Webflow. It's amazing. Zapier is of course huge because Zapier integrations are incredible. So there's a ton of stuff here, and I am actually talking to the founder of this next week, and I'm super excited because they have all these really, really cool things. They already have Slack on here, so it may
Notion is in there, Slack is there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yeah. Hey, Kyle. Kyle's here. I went on live with Kyle a little while ago. But yeah, so you may want to talk to these people, see if you can get your little thing on there, because I think, honestly, you have a great, great tool for this kind of stuff, and I want to build my own little database of these kinds of things on my own website to help people out. So
nice. I love that. And the concept of no code doesn't just apply to people who can't code or aren't interested in development. Like I'm a software engineer. You clearly have the chops to build just about anything, but it's about choosing what you're going to focus your energy and your time on.
Exactly.
And some of the best code is the code that you didn't have to write, because that means you don't have to maintain it, you don't have to debug it, and you can get to the outcome, the business outcome. Because really, the code is supposed to serve the business. The business isn't supposed to serve the code, which seems to be something that a lot of more technical minded people get backwards. We start thinking too much about the tooling and the setup, and when we really shouldn't be recreating the wheel. We can get to the actual building stuff when we're really focused on building what makes our thing unique and different. So
I agree with that.
No
completely.
code is great.
I absolutely agree with that. I was talking with my friend Dan, who is like one of the most brilliant software engineers that I've ever met. He graduated from CMU. He's a straight A kind of kid, and he's just unbelievable. He can build whatever he wants. The kid is a genius. But I'm hanging out with him tomorrow. But I was talking with him recently. We were walking along, and I was telling him about how I was building an internship platform, and I did it without code. I just built it on Google Sheets and Google Forms, and I just integrated things, and I had it auto-populate a little form online where people could just go, check it out, email the founder of startups locally, and find internships. I built that just on Google Sheets. It's great. Yay. Didn't need to create a fancy database or a website. But I was telling him, and I was like, "You're going to be offended by how I did this, but I did it without like anything." And he's like, "Why would that offend me? Like that's like if even during coding, even if you are building your own product, if you can go on GitHub or online or Stack Overflow, and you can find like existing solutions to code with code, like use that. Like everybody has this weird bias of building something from scratch and making it perfect and making it your own thing, and it does not have to be. So.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of that saying, which is that perfect is the enemy of good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who it was. I'll have to find the source,
I like that.
but that's a very common thing. It's like, people will have an idea that they want to build something and make it perfect, and all of that time and energy that goes into getting it just right is time actually away from solving your customers' needs.
Love that.
So
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
on making it work for the customer and figure out how to improve it with with your own secret sauce.
Love
But
that. I love that a lot. So cool. All right, cool. So let's jump in.
sounds good.
So just to give a rundown for everybody what we're doing, I'm building or trying to build an online community around in Pittsburgh specifically, a local online community to help people like myself and just general students and people interested in thrift stores get in touch with thrift stores. Because when I walk into a thrift store, I have no idea what I'm gonna freaking get. And that's part of the fun, right? But it's also inefficient. So if I don't have a ton of time, I'll go to the thrift store and I won't be able to, I won't find time to get to other places, and I might miss some really cool clothes that I'm trying to look for, right? So it's a pain in the butt, and I figured if I could communicate with the thrift stores where they could give me updates on like, hey, we got a really cool shipment, or hey, we're having a sale, or anything like that, then I could be a little bit more efficient with how I'm doing things. But none of that exists. Some thrift stores have Instagram pages. And they kind of use them, but it's not really, and their websites are all over the place, but they don't kind of regularly market to consumers. And so I'm trying to give them an opportunity to do that. I interviewed five, I think it was five, which is not nearly enough, but it's some local thrift stores to kind of get a vibe on like where their problems are, how are they having issues getting customers, how are they having issues getting paid, where does the revenue come from, where are the main costs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Most of them are nonprofits. They don't necessarily care about too many costs, but what they all do want, at least a decent amount, is more customers, even if they are really successful. And they don't really do too much active marketing. They don't really have the flexibility to do marketing. And since I personally, yeah, 69 Pretzel, one of my friends just jumped on the Twitch stream. He's asking for you to give a pitch, and we will go into Seth's pitch in a second. Yeah. But so I talked to them all. They don't really know how to do customers. They don't know how to get customers. They don't know how to get more people in the stores. But that's where their bottom line comes from, right? More people buying clothes, more feet in the stores, and they don't. And I don't have the flexibility to market for every single thrift store. I'm not going to get paid enough for the time that I'm doing for that. So I thought if I can gather all of the thrift interested people in Pittsburgh on one platform together, I can make that super easy for thrift stores to hop on and talk about what they're doing. And that's really valuable to both the thrift store, they get more customers, and to the thrifter, because they can find better clothes, they can get a better beat on what's going on, and just generally be more productive and find better deals. So that's the idea behind 412Thrift, and that's what we're going to try to build here today.
Awesome idea, and I love the fact that really is, thrifters really are a community of people who are kind of, some can be obsessed about finding cool and interesting things. So really, it's providing the information that they already want access to without having to do as much legwork going in and out of thrift stores. If they can have kind of a feed about new shipments and things that are coming through.
Exactly. Yeah.
Photos of stuff, all sorts of.
Exactly. So that's going to be kind of the stuff that I'm going to encourage thrift stores to post. But yeah, cool. So if you could give, I think you gave a little bit of an intro, but I'd love it if you kind of gave the pitch. So if you're selling to a new customer like myself, what's your pitch for LaunchPass, and how does it help me when I'm trying to build these kind of communities?
Sounds great. So the concept of LaunchPass is extremely simple. It's the fastest way to launch a subscription-based chat community online, hands down. And we support Slack and Discord. And really, we've gone over some of the necessity of being able to rapidly launch a subscription-based business. And it turns out that chat happens to be a really great way to initially launch something. Basically, you can put a paywall around your chat community, and then the people who are really engaged in your space, let's say you're a podcaster or a YouTuber or an expert, a lot of people who are doing finance notifications, with plots and graphs, day traders and whatnot, when they want to be able to sell access to information that's going to be valuable to their audience, and give their audience a way that's kind of troll free, and protected by a paywall. So you're getting only the high quality people who are really interested and focused on what you're doing. So there's a lot of different use cases. Over 4 years, we've helped launch thousands of these groups on both Slack and Discord. Some of them have become wildly profitable, and in a very short period of time. A lot of them in the finance space, like crypto or markets. People will already have an audience, and a portion of that audience wants to be able to support the content creator, engage with other members of the community, and get direct access to premium content. Wrapping a chat space in a paywall, and having something like LaunchPass manage members and handle payments and sending invites and revoking access when people stop paying. All of that stuff doesn't need to be built because we've already handled it. So we really are it's a membership platform that wraps existing chat communities. So far, it's Slack and Discord, and Telegram is coming next. So.
Telegram. Interesting. Telegram.
Yeah.
Okay, that's super fun. And I've seen a little bit when it comes to what's it called? Telegram makes a lot of sense. I've seen Telegram become more and more popular lately. And then there's also it's the little green guy. I can't remember what it's called. What is it? There's
Is it Line or WhatsApp?
It's WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the one. The green guy. But yeah, so I've seen a little bit of WhatsApp too, but I think Telegram makes the most sense. Yeah, that's super awesome. Okay, interesting. Very, very cool. So
as far as thrift and close, some of the largest groups that have launched on Discord happen to be sneaker groups, where
really?
I don't know, the terminology is like to cop sneakers. So there are these cop groups where people will post relevant information about what sneakers are going to be dropping where and when, so that people can who are really big fans of that stuff can find them quickly, purchase them, and resell them. So they become these really large resale groups. So it seems kind of tangentially related to thrift.
Yeah, that does. Okay, yeah, because that's another thing that I want to go over. So why Slack versus Discord? And I think I had, which platform makes most sense depending on the niche. So we can we should probably go over that earlier rather than later, because I guess I haven't really decided. I assumed Slack would make the most sense because it just seems a little bit more professional, and Discord is for gamers. And that's the kind of the main. They built it very specifically for gamers. When you log onto the platform, it's for gamers. When you do all that stuff, it's very clearly for the video game society. But Slack is built for work. They both have equally as powerful mobile apps and equally as powerful like applications online. They're the same in terms of accessibility. But what's the difference between to functionality, right? So what should I be careful of depending on what I'm prototyping? I think you said channels are more important in Slack, whereas permissions might be more important in Discord.
Sure. Yeah. So you nailed the initial thing, which is basically that these are very comparable platforms, but they're targeted to different types of users. So if you're in the professional space, it tends to be people are already familiar with Slack. The fact that it has a light theme that's default is actually a little, for people who are in a more office environment or professional environment, are going to be more comfortable with a light looking theme. And they probably already use it since Slack is such a popular communication and collaboration tool within companies right now. On the other hand, if it's a little bit more of a younger crowd, or it's people, YouTubers, or even podcasters, or people who are definitely more involved in entertainment or gaming, then Discord is going to be a more natural fit. Since Discord is really, it's a darker theme, it's more focused for gamers, but ultimately it's really what would fit the audience better. So, when we have groups launch that are in the open source space, where they're using a paid community to help fund an open source project, it's going to be Slack, because that's going to be the tool that everybody's very comfortable with. And they're already familiar with. So familiarity is one of the biggest things. You want your customers to feel, your audience to feel comfortable on the platform. And then as far as technical differences, Discord has a little bit more flexibility when it comes to selling access to roles. It has a nice concept of roles. It would be nice if Slack included roles at some point, where you can really fine tune the role-based system, so that you could sell access to a role, which then gives access to a subset of the channels, and gives people different types of permissions. And you could do things like you may have the ability only to read from a channel and not write unless you purchase access to a higher tier, which would give people a role, or give access to voice channels to listen but not to actually talk. So there's a lot of interesting ways that you can tweak roles in the Discord in Discord. But with that flexibility comes complexity, and customers, depending on the space that they're in, that may be overwhelming. It may be too much. And as far as just a very simple way to get people onboarded and involved in the community, Slack seems one of the best, because it's just there's just clarity there. People don't really have to understand as much. So it's that whole power versus simplicity
I like that. Okay.
type thing.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, more work oriented. It's simpler and it's more obvious how to interact. I like that a lot. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to stick with Slack a little bit in this case, because I'm not fully I know I'm going to be targeting students, and I know I'm going to be targeting like millennials, Gen Z, kind of my age group, right? Like, it's mostly going to be my age group, probably like 16 to right before 30. I think, hold on, Mushtaq, I think I'm pronouncing your name right. He wanted to say he can't join for the whole stream, but he wants to check it out later, which is really cool of him. It's midnight in the UK. I gotta figure out a way to make this more accessible to people across the world, because I do have kind of it's a small audience, but it is relatively international. So yeah, cool, awesome, that makes sense. Simpler, more work-oriented. I'm probably going to stick with Slack because, underline that, because my group, I don't necessarily know what they're using every day. Students are kind of just getting into these different kinds of tools. Some of them might use Discord if they're already interacting with gaming, but that may not be the ideal community to target for this kind of stuff like thrifting. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'll figure that out as I go. So right now I think simpler is better. Keep it easier, and there's no fancy permissions that are roles that I can think of right now that would be valuable. So I think I'm going to stick with Slack. I think that makes sense.
Simple is the best way to start.
Awesomeness.
In general. Yeah.
Awesomeness. Coolness. So just to go over quick how LaunchPass works, I essentially went to slack.com. I said sign up. I built a little free group. And it led me here. I essentially just plugged in my name. I gave it my email, I think, and I was able to set up a little free workspace. It didn't really take too long, super quick. I then went over to LaunchPass. I signed in, made an account, and it automatically hooked up and let me sign into whichever workspace I wanted to. And I have like 5 different workspaces that I do on Slack, because I have a bunch of different groups that I'm in, and it just let me sign in here. And so now that's where it's led me here. So it's a super quick, easy to use tool. I didn't have really any problems with it. And so let's get right into it. I think the first kind of step that I want to talk about and think about, because I haven't discussed finished this in my mind yet, is I want a free group, paid channel. I would love to make it a paid group. The 2 monetization strategies that I was thinking of were either so I can charge the thrift stores, right? I can charge them access because I'm giving them the potential to market all of the things that they're doing. That will hopefully in turn make them better sales, and so they'll be making a return on their investment tenfold or whatever it might be. That will be a little bit later, once I have an established group of people that care, that are interested. I feel like this would be good for Notion. Pretzel says, I feel like this would be good for Notion. Interesting. I haven't actually checked out Notion yet, but I'm interested to use that because it does look like a cool prototyping tool. Do you know anything about Notion?
Yeah, Notion is great. So it's really like a knowledge base or wiki type system.
Okay.
And it has really nice integration with Slack. And so the concept there is that the thrift stores could be adding content and showing what they're doing, et cetera, and writing stuff out. And then the channels that they're in would automatically update with the changes. So the audience can basically, the people who are looking for that information don't necessarily have to scroll through the entire stream. They can follow a link, which will just give them basically a nice web page with the content.
That makes sense. Okay.
That's been updated. Yeah.
Okay, so it turns kind of a chat into a forum base, kind of, for lack of a better term. Okay, cool.
wikifies it or whatever,
That's
however
cool.
you
That's
call
really
it. Yeah.
cool. I think I'm gonna check that out. Yeah. That sounds fun as heck. So anyway, I think that what I want to do is I want to monetize with the thrift stores later once I can prove value, right? Once I can say like I have 1,000 members if I get to that point. I have 1,000 members in the local Pittsburgh group that are really interested. They're all paying me to get in touch with thrift stores or are interested in paying at least. And then I would charge them, right? But for now, I'm just going to let them on free and let them kind of interact and create that value initially. But I do want to charge people eventually, like the consumers in my group, maybe like $1 a month to start, like some basic buy-in just to make sure, kind of what you were saying before, that they are engaged, that they care about what's going on, and they have some buy-in to participate and to communicate and to share information or be on the platform regularly. Um, and so I know that that's not going to be immediately. I know that people aren't going to pay for like 5 people in the group right now, but they will eventually, and that's the goal. So I want to start it off free, but I want to transition it to a paid group at some point. So my selling point would probably be like the first 200 people in free, like get first 200 people into the group get in for free. Or maybe I just do a paid group with a free trial period. What do you think would be the best way to make that kind of happen if I want to have a period of freedom so I get more users and then eventually start charging?
Sure. So a nice thing about this is that you can experiment and push out a few different offers and see what people respond to. And generally, we recommend requiring, even if you're going to have a coupon that makes it free, you could have a coupon that makes it free for a month, a year, or reduces the fee of the group by 90%. So they're really getting in. Maybe you're going to plan to charge $10 at some point, but they get in at a dollar. A dollar is the minimal charge unless you're providing a coupon that makes it free. So yeah, we would recommend either a trial or making it free. I'm sorry, a trial or creating a coupon that makes it free for a period of time or forever for the first, let's say, 200 customers. Thing being that they have to actually enter their details, even if they're not planning on, even if you're not going to be charging them at all. And the reason for that is that it really eliminates trolls and spammers, which are problems in forums and in other spaces that aren't paid. And just by putting up a paywall around something, even if you're not going to charge people, helps maintain a high level of quality for those initial people in the group. Because those early adopters, those people that are first entering your group, you want them to be the type of customers that are going to become kind of leaders in your group and are going to be the most engaged and excited. And if somebody can just put in an email address and join, you can kind of end up in a situation where you have people abusing the group in order to in order to promote their own stuff without a real intent on engaging with everybody else in there in a meaningful way.
That's a really good point. Okay, cool. So you would recommend coupons. That's a premium feature. If I and I think I'm probably going to buy the premium once I like fully build this out. If I do a free trial period, does it still force people to enter their credit card information, like that kind of thing? It still keeps that buy-in there.
Yep, it still keeps the buy-in,
Okay.
and then it would charge them after the 2 months.
Okay, that kind of makes
You
sense.
set it for the
Okay, I like that. Okay, that sounds good. So I wanna go through the process, assuming that we're doing everything via like free plans, just to make it the most accessible that I can to as many people. I personally am probably gonna buy the premium plan just to make, because I do want to build this out, but I would love to do a little bit of testing first with the free plan. So I'm probably gonna leave it on like a trial period of probably 1 month. I think makes sense. And let's say we're gonna start with $1. And it's interesting you haven't included a yearly option, because I've seen that with every group and you make it really easy that way. So that makes sense to me. I'm going to say yes on the yearly option. I'm going to upload an image, and this is really nice. I wanted to go over this. The landing page necessity for a lot of these different kind of programs is really interesting, because I initially was going to connect this to a Wix. You said I could embed it on like a Wix page and a lot of different things. There's a lot of flexibility here. I could also make a type form that auto-populates. I have a type form right here that auto-populates a Google Sheet, and then like make some, like use a little GitHub integration to throw it to the Slack group, and just use this for more of the payment section. There's a lot of options here, but I like LaunchPass because it gives me essentially a landing page that I can just use and throw people to right off of an ad. So I don't know. I'm gonna add this here, 412 Thrift, little page. Ba-boom. By Max Mirho. I do want to add a little video link. I have one. I have a video. I can show that right now. It's a little dorky. I just made it like an hour before the stream. Here, let's show this and make sure it's not stupid loud. It's stupid loud. So this is the video that I made. Let me pop it over to my actual screen. Bah, there we go.
There you are.
Yeah, okay, cool. So this is the video that I made that I'm probably going to put on the little thing right here, because you give the option to add a YouTube or Vimeo video, which I like a lot. I prefer videos as a platform to describe what's going on. I usually put it on a lot of my landing pages, and I'm planning on putting it on my personal website. I also make a ton of videos like this live video on LinkedIn, so of course I'm more comfortable with video. But yeah, I think it's a good option. So this is what I made. Hi, my name is Max, and I run 412Thrift. I built the group. And just to tell you a story real quick about why I did that.
I'm not getting any volume. I'm not sure if maybe everybody else is.
Oh, okay, you're not getting any volume. Interesting. In that case, oh, okay, because, so I'm sharing with you on Zoom, and I don't think that you can hear what I'm doing via Zoom, which is a little
no worries, as long as everybody else can hear.
Yeah, I think everybody else can hear
because
my
a lot of thrift stores around town. I was doing a lot of thrift shopping.
My audio is
I'm relatively active in that kind of scene, and I couldn't really find a solid way to keep in touch with what was going on, or find a way to make sure that I was going to get a good deal when I was
no worries. I'll just nod and pretend I can understand what you're saying.
There might be a way to help kind of consumers like us really discover what's going on before we walk into a store, right? So I talked to a lot of owners around town. Turns out they don't really have a great way.
I'm bored. It's basically just kind of me. You get the kind of vibe if you're watching the show right now. Let me add this little link back. The vibe is essentially like this is 412Thrift. I built the group. I did it because I talk to thrift stores, and they say they don't know how to talk to customers. I, as a thrifter, also don't know really how to get in touch with thrift stores. That's why I built the group. Yay. Hoorah. And just kind of giving people
videos are extremely effective. I think particularly for these kind of communities, because you want to know that there's a real person who cares about the subject matter, who has some expertise and is actually interested in what's going on behind the scenes. Which, text is great, but actually seeing somebody and hearing them talk, you get a taste of whether or not this person is actually, focused on the stuff and cares about it. So
exactly. So I'm just gonna say I'm probably gonna do Vimeo. Do you have any preference? I agree completely. I think it gives a lot more personability to what I'm building and the actual product, and it's not just like, hey, give us money, now you get on the group. Like it becomes a people thing, right? And at the end of the video, I actually say like, I'm active on the group. I will be active on the group. I'll be messaging. I'll give people the opportunity to shoot me a message. I will try to be active at thrift stores locally so that I can give some input and I can give some feedback on what's going on. And it makes it, again, like a more personal thing. So I want to make me accessible in the group. I want to make I want it to be a community, not just a group online, right? A group of people that are talking and communicating. So no, I agree. Video is awesome. Do you have any preference for YouTube or Vimeo? Because I think Vimeo might have better analytics.
It does. I've just always used YouTube by default. Yeah. If you're going to put a real link in there, I'd recommend it. Even if it's a placeholder, like just grab a YouTube video, the link for it on YouTube, and just paste it in. We can upload the real one later.
I like it a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this one. This is a live video, I think. Hopefully they won't mess with it. But yeah, this is gonna be, I think, lo-fi chill beats, which I often use to
it's good to code to.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, cool. So description, rundown. This is 412Thrift. A community of local Pittsburghers that want to get more interaction and transparency from thrift stores so they can make better. I'm going to edit this later. This is just kind of placeholder stuff. Transfer to the stores so they can make better buying decisions with second-hand clothes. Coolness. Yay. And then if I were to do coupons, I would enable this here. And I'm probably going to do this too because it redirects automatically to the Slack group after the sign up, right? If I get the premium.
Yeah. So what people normally will do is redirect to a landing page that welcomes them and lets them know that, because they're going to get an email from Slack after their payment goes through, or after their free, the invoice of $0 goes through.
Yeah.
If they're using a coupon. And so it's just important that they understand how to get into the system and that they're welcomed. People will often put another video there that on the landing page, on the redirect page, once it's succeeded, and they'll say, "Welcome to the group."
Interesting. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, you're cutting up a little bit. Yeah, my internet should be good. Okay, cool. Let's preview this real quick. Yeah, Seth is lagging. Dang it. Lo-fi hip hop radio, chill beats. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, it generates a little automatic thing. And so when I do back to edit, when I do the redirect, does that redirect to a second landing page that's generated through LaunchPass, or does that redirect to a landing page that I might build on Wix or some other thing?
It'll redirect to any URL that you set.
Gotcha,
so we don't actually generate it for you. Yeah.
Awesome. That's super cool. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. I think I'll. Do you have any preference for like free landing page builders or anything like that? I'm probably just gonna use a free Wix page, but I would like to like maybe add like a domain because I do have 412Thrift up here. 412thrift.com is available, and I was thinking of linking it in some way.
Wix is great. Webflow is great. Webflow, we've seen some pretty great landing pages built. With. It's pretty flexible to build, probably a little more complicated. And of course, like Squarespace, the sponsor of every podcast.
Yes. It's super funny. They're really interesting with their marketing. I'm using Webflow right now to build out my website. I freaking love Webflow. It's there's so much you can do with it. Oh my gosh. But okay, cool. So here, I'll add that to here. Redirect is nice if you want to push people to a private landing page welcoming them to the group. I like that. Might include another video to make them feel more part of the community. Yeah, and so one of my plans, so I wish I could showcase my little website right now, but I probably shouldn't. I'm building a website. It's going to be entrepreneur.blog, and on there, I'm going to kind of try to do a similar thing to what MakerPad has done here, where I'm going to say, like, these are tools that I've used. These are things that I've integrated with, and this is, like, how you use each of these individually, right? They're clearly way, way better at this. I may just link to MakerPad, like a little bit of HTML link, whatever works, but I do want to add my own tools, and one of them is definitely going to be LaunchPass, and I want other people to be able to see, like, what they can do with the tool, right? So I want it to be accessible, and I want it to be on my little list of things. And hopefully I would be able to interview other people like you, building businesses that make prototyping easier on the stream, and get people connected with cool tools, cool companies doing amazing things that help them build businesses. So awesomeness.
Awesome.
Yeah. So cool. This makes sense. Add a little video here. I showed you the video there. Run this down, and it just builds a little landing page like this. Get access today, 30-day free trial, monthly, yearly. They put in their email, and then it automatically signs them up for my group. And it's super, super simple. They can listen to some. I love these channels. There was a meme that I saw recently. I can't remember what it was. It was like, that was not very lo-fi hip hop radio calm/chill beats of you, to say. And I like little things like that. But yeah, cool. So this works. This is awesome. Like, this is a simple little landing page. It's auto-generated. I don't know how I would build something like this without the use of your tool, honestly. Like, I don't. There would probably have to be a bunch of different integrations that I would have to go through Zapier, and a bunch of other fanciness. Do you have examples of how somebody might have done it without your tool in the past?
It usually requires just a bunch of different tools and some custom development to glue it all together.
Yeah.
That tends to be, so what will often, not often, but what will happen not infrequently is people will go, okay, this seems like it's easy enough to build. And then you discover all of the edge cases that you didn't think of. And then you have to develop solutions for each piece of it. And then they'll come back and be like, okay, this is actually simpler. Let's just focus on creating value for our customers and not rebuilding this entire platform.
Yeah.
So
I like it a lot. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So I think I'm gonna get the premium plan. Gonna do a thrill of that. I think this all makes sense to me. I think 1 month of free trial period. I'm gonna try to push out a ton of ads. I'll try to like see if I can dump like $5 or $10 a day into ads for like maybe a week, and see how that functions. See how people respond to that. When I did try, so actually this little thing right here, I can show you the little had a where was it? Heck. I had a little ad that I worked with. I can actually just go to recent and it should show me. Whatever the heck. I had a little ad that looked like this. It was like 412Thrift for National Thrift Day. This is where we're giving access to this thing. This is when we're launching. And I got, I think, like 6 signups on a little MailChimp subscription thing. So I can just plug those all in directly into the channel once I'm ready. It cost about, I think, $1 per person, and I'm sure I can get that down. Like I'm sure I can do some A/B testing and work with a bunch of different ads and see if I can make it a little bit more efficient. But generally, like $1 per person interested in that kind of thing, I would assume maybe like 1 in 5, 1 in 10 might pay. If I can get it down to 50 cents, that's probably like a $5 onboarding fee overall to find people in Pittsburgh. And if I can pay $5, that's going to repay itself in a few months with the monthly subscription. So that should, yeah, like that's totally doable. I'm excited to give it a shot. Very cool. Just a couple more things, some discussion. I'm probably going to buy a GoDaddy domain. I'm going to hook it up to a landing page, and I'm going to like forward people to that and make it all like look nice and pretty. Ads and marketing, going to target towards college students, people interested like Gen Z, millennials, people interested in this kind of space, the most typical thing. And I asked all the thrift stores that I go to, like, what are your most common customers? And I want to target specifically to that. A lot of them are college students. A lot of them are most typically girls, like 16 to 25. I think that was the primary kind of audience demographics, and so that's what I'm going to be targeting my ads towards, and just see if I can make it happen.
What platforms do you think you're going to plan to target? Or is Facebook a primary one because they have all that data for narrowing down who the target audience is? Or I'm just curious which platforms you plan to market on.
Totally, yeah. So when I did it, I ran ads, I think, on Facebook, just like typical Facebook ads. I just ran it all in Facebook in articles, Facebook just in the feed, Facebook posts, just with a little picture like I kind of showed you, like the little 412Thrift National Thrift Day. Hey, I wish I could show you the other one, but actually I can. It's on my LinkedIn, but whatever. But I did it just through Facebook, and I'm probably gonna try to make a video ad on Instagram for Instagram stories, because I know Instagram stories have had a typically better return rate than a lot of other basic social ads for the past like year or so. So I'm probably gonna make a little video similar to the one that I showed, where I'm like, hey, my name is Max. I built 412Thrift to help you as a consumer get in touch with thrift stores locally in Pittsburgh. I'm not gonna talk that fast, but I'm gonna try to make it all cute and nice, like a 10-second video. Swipe up to check out the group, and they can do this whole thing on their phone.
You should be dressed in like a Macklemore.
Yes, exactly. I was just thinking that, with like a top hat on, or like a fedora or something.
All sorts of wild stuff.
Yeah. Just go to a thrift store and like raid the wildest things you see. I might do something like that and see if it works, because it would be really, really funny. I would make a fool of myself, but
it'd be a blast.
Last time I ran an ad, one of my friends came up to me later. It was for my internship platform, actually. It was like for the beginning of my internship platform, like 2 years ago. I ran a little Instagram ad where I sat there and I said, hey, if you're looking for internships at local startups in Pittsburgh, you should swipe up and check out this little platform. And it led him to a Wix page. I targeted it towards most college students, and there's like Pittsburgh is a huge college town. There's like some ridiculous amount of students. There's probably like 100,000 students in the greater Pittsburgh area. And for some reason, one of my friends or acquaintances that I hadn't even really talked to that much saw the ad, and they were like, oh yeah, I was scrolling through Instagram, and was that you? And I was like, oh my god, like I didn't assume that anybody that I actually knew, because I know like 10 people at school. Yeah, and they just saw it, and I was like, oh my god, that's embarrassing. So it was really funny, but that's probably going to happen, I think, especially if I'm targeting towards my age group, right? So it'll be interesting. But yeah, I'll probably do Instagram and Facebook to answer your question.
Great.
I think that'll make the most sense. And then we've talked about segmenting users. Coupons make a lot of sense. Discounted rate for early adopters. We can do that through the coupons. And then I wanted to go over like some examples of more successful ones, because you've said like a lot of people have done really, really well with these kinds of groups, and I think this is a perfect kind of thing for, like, I can think of tons and tons of examples of how using a Slack group or an online community, like an exclusive online community, makes sense for a lot of different business purposes, because it's essentially prototyping a platform, right? Like you can, like Facebook, you can use Facebook is used as kind of the basis for a lot of this kind of things. Like there's like for sale at University of Pittsburgh, and it's called For Sale at Pitt, and it's in Pittsburgh. And it's a little Facebook group. You can only join if you're a Pitt student. You hop on, you are accepted by the admin. You have to prove you're a Pitt student through some little questions. But once you're on, like, you can post, hey, I am selling this for this much. I am selling this for this much. I am interested in buying this for this much. And you can go through. Like, that's a platform. That is a platform that is prototyped through Facebook groups, right? And this is kind of a way to prototype those kinds of platforms. It makes it more exclusive, though, and it's more mobile friendly. There's a lot of different benefits to it. So I think Facebook groups is another way to solve this kind of problem, but it's not nearly as customer friendly, I think, or as marketing friendly as LaunchPass is. But I am interested in checking.
There's been a number of people who have transitioned from Facebook groups to paid Discord and Slack groups. But some of them will use both. And the idea is that the Facebook groups or even like Twitter acts as the top of the funnel. And then which leads into a premium paid space. So some people decide to move everything over and make it paid, and others will kind of use them in collaboration. So people will come in and with public access to the Facebook group, but then for like the premium content, they pay to get access.
That's awesome. I like that a lot. Very, very cool. So this is one of your examples that I think you sent me, Traffic Think Tank. One really successful example of somebody using LaunchPass, right? So this is interesting. Learn SEO that actually works. So it's an SEO group sharing kind of tips, tricks, what they're doing. I like this. Level up your SEO like you're using cheat codes. It's a nice kind of nerdy reference to people that are probably working on SEO. This is interesting. This is cool.
These guys are great, and they became profitable fairly fast on the platform.
Yeah.
They're using the widget here. This is clearly their own complete custom website that they put a bunch of effort into making it really clear what the value proposition is. I love the Meet the Experts because it really shows, these are the guys that know SEO, and they're going to be there in the group to help answer questions and point you in the right direction.
I love that. Yeah, and it's kind of, it works like, it's similar to like testimonials, right? Like you can show that there is value, that people are here, that they're making an impact, and that something is happening. It gives like validation, because I'll go on plenty of websites and I'll just see like, this is what we do. Click here to pay money. Like it's and it doesn't like have some personability to it. And the same thing with the video, right? Like the video adds personability to it, and it's I like this Meet the Experts. That makes a lot of sense. I don't think the Meet the Experts would make sense for my group, but we would be able to list like, hey, we are friends with this thrift store, we are friends with this thrift store, and I'll take maybe pictures of the owners and say they are active on the groups, and kind of make it a more personal thing like that. So actually, that's a really good point. I'm gonna write that down.
And what they're focused on and what they love about the thrift space, each might have their own type of thing that they're on the lookout for.
Love that.
They're excited by. So.
Larger landing page that shows testimonials from users and quotes and pictures from local thrift store owners. I love that. Picoots. I like that. Yeah, have them talk what they love about thrifting. That is not a word, is it? No, it's not. Thrift.
It might be now.
Okay, cool. Awesome. This is really cool, though. This makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and then this is where they do testimonials. So they have people that are active in the SEO space talking about the value of why this is a great platform, why people use it. He's even promoting Traffic Think Tank with a t-shirt. I like that. Very cool. This is interesting, and they go hard on the testimonials. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Social proof is massive.
It is, yeah.
Like if all of these people have gotten value from this, then maybe there's something here.
Exactly.
And those buttons are just connect to our widget. So if you click the button or the coupon area there, that launches the modal, which is the Stripe modal, which we wrap. So that ends up communicating with our systems to send the invite.
That's super awesome. Okay, cool. And that's usable within, I'm assuming, like that's one of the premium features, the little widget.
Mm-hmm. So if once you publish the page, you'll see that there's a little button that says embed, and it will contain the code that you need to paste. And it's trivial to add it. Doesn't really count as coding.
Totally.
You just have to paste it into any HTML area.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, awesome. That's super, super cool. And so that makes like a little, okay, so this, but what about the pop-up? Because the pop-up is different than I don't know, I guess, I'm actually not sure. I don't do too much to web development if that's not completely painfully obvious. Okay, cool. No, that makes sense. That's awesome. And then they give the offer again here. And they charge like a solid amount for this kind of thing. This is interesting. They charge a really big amount.
Some of the most successful groups charge a lot more than I think people would expect for a paid community.
Yeah.
But the truth is that when there are people who are really in there, who are answering questions and engaging, their time is incredibly valuable. So the fact that, you could pay them, potentially thousands of dollars to get as like a one-on-one kind of consultancy relationship and actually work with them, or you get access to the entire group and access to them over an ongoing going period of time. So
I love that.
They're pricing themselves at their value.
No, yeah, that makes sense. That's awesome. Okay, that's really, really cool. Look, we're not here to promise you the moon or give you a Swiss cheese. This is awesome. I love this. Okay, this is a really, really good example. I love this. This is awesome. I think that's all of my questions. I'm probably gonna go through and write more of this. So I'm gonna like write the description out. I'll publish the video to Vimeo. And I'll add the link here and do all that kind of stuff. But most of it, the rest of it is just going to be kind of me prototyping stuff, right? So, and I think I'm probably going to do most of that off camera. So I think, unless you have more questions, I think I'm out.
No, this is perfect. This was a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
I'd be happy to do it again. For anybody who's listening, would be happy to provide a coupon that gives you. We already give a free 14-day trial. Happy to provide you with a 2-month trial. Just when you're signing up, mention to us EntrepreNerd. Let me say it correctly, and we'll go ahead and give you that extended trial. It takes
awesome.
a little time to get the ball rolling, so happy to help with that.
That's awesome. That's super, super awesome. I super appreciate that. And I'm probably going to shoot you an email about that to get the coupon, just so I can get started on that, because I am going to use the premium feature.
For sure.
But I want to test some
we'll
stuff
get it
first.
to you too.
Awesome. That's super, super dope. I appreciate the hell out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. No worries. Awesome chatting with you. Take care and enjoy the rest of the screencast, everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
You got it. Bye.
Bye. And meeting. Isn't he cool? And meeting for all. Okay, cool. We're done there. We are still streaming live. If anybody has any questions here or anywhere else, would love to hear them. I got 15 people in there, and I think we have 2 people left on Twitch. This was super fun. I'm really glad that we had a guest. That was really spooky for me. He's gonna watch this afterwards and he's gonna be like, "Wow, this kid was really nervous." But that was so fun. The goal of EntrepreNerd is to have a lot more of those kinds of things. And I'm talking with the owner of MakerPad later. I think next week I'm gonna try to get him on the stream, because look at all these amazing tools. Like they can build incredible things with the stuff that they do. They have like access to all these different. I mean, we all have access to all these different things, but it's they give you tutorials, and they give you they actually have tutorials on how to do these kinds of things. View all tutorials. So if I wanted to build like a hiring operation or anything like this, I could just go and build this through existing tools that they promote and they act with. And I want to build my own thing. I'm building my own website right now, but I'm going to have a list of things like this that I've used for building previous projects. I built one with Google Sheets and Google Forms recently. I'm building one now with Slack and LaunchPass and probably Wix. But yeah, that's the goal of this. And so if there's any entrepreneurs or any cool tools that you think are cool, please shoot me a message. Would love to hear about them. I think it'll be really cool. I'm glad you liked it, Jerry. Or Yari, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name fully. What's your thoughts on a all new privacy paradigm on mobile? Change the editing experience, stores of the locations. So privacy is a really good point. Privacy with this kind of thing. So I'm gonna write more in notes. Also, oh my god, it was so cool of Seth. So Seth gave us and the viewers access to a 2-month free trial. Love him. What a cool guy. Ugh, what a G. Anyway, so the privacy issue. The privacy issue is going to be interesting. We're going to have to be careful. I mean, Slack is relatively it's private. Like you're going to have to pay to get into the group, right? So that like increases the privacy automatically. If people are in there to mess with others, I'm going to be active in the group, and I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time, probably like a couple hours a week, just being in there, interacting with people and talking with who's doing what. So I'm gonna be the admin. I might promote other admins if we get to large enough. So hopefully it'll be self-policing, if that's kind of what you're asking about. But beyond that, the Slack group should, like, I can't imagine there being too big of an issue because there is a paywall. There isn't just room for people to hop in and be a troll, like he was saying, right? So yeah, it'll be interesting. But the stores shouldn't have any issues. They're just going to be publishing like what they're doing. And there's not like any like high value here or any like reasons that there might be any stalking. I feel like privacy shouldn't be too big of an issue, but you never know. If it is, we'll work with it. I'll make videos about how people are being assholes in my group, and I'll try to fix it. So, upsell, says Hank. If you want to let other people mess with other people in the group, upsell them. So you get to screw with other members, free of harassment of your own, if you pay us $20 a month. That's terrible. That's not the way to build a group. That's funny. I like that. What kind of upsells could we do? I'm trying to think, because there could be like, I feel like we should keep it simple for now. I don't think too many upsells or anything like in that realm would be too applicable here. I can't really think of something that would make sense. Like, I could think of different channels. So like maybe you pay like 50 cents a month and you get to talk with other thrifters and you get to share kind of stuff there. You could pay $2 a month to get access to sales that are going around town, right? Maybe like $1 a month for sales. And then you could pay like $5 a month if you want to hear directly about the types of shipments that people are that the thrift stores are receiving. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like we should just keep it simple. $1 a month to start, and then I'm probably gonna up it, because the point of this is that I can test it a bunch, right? I can create different LaunchPass like pages, different sign up pages for different offers, and yeah. So I can create different offers and I can try different things. I can just put out a free group and say, hey, this is what we're doing, and then make a second, and then switch that link to a paid group later. There's a lot of different ways that I can be flexible with this, but the point of this is that I can test, right? I can test different things. I'm definitely going to get the premium because it makes a lot more sense for me. Yeah, pre-plan, invite pages with your branding and message. Yes, which is what I want. Embeddable payment widget, awesome. This is interesting. So the 12% fee on any existing subscriptions, that's really cool. I like that they did that. Free trials, very cool. Automatically kick users from premium channels, awesomeness. Thrift stores get shipments and open 1 hour early for VIPs. I think Sam's Club opens early some days for certain folks. Interesting. So you're saying I would charge for like VIP access would be one thing, and I would charge for yeah, exactly, access to like shipment information, right? That would be cool. That would be really interesting. I don't know how that would. Yeah, we can test that out later. Point of this now is just to get something out bare bones. I'm gonna try to finish it by the end of tomorrow. Yeah. So, and then I'll be able to publish this out, and I'll make videos about the ads that I'm running, the community development that's happening. If you're interested, you should totally. I'll be publishing stuff about this, and you can join the Slack group, or just send me an email, and I'll add you to the Slack group 412Thrift for free. But yeah, I am pretty much done. I can't think of really anything else that I'm going to be working on with this. So, yeah, this is really, really cool. It's a great, great tool. I'm going to be posting it on my website. Really excited about this. So, and hopefully I'll be able to use this for Discord groups in the future and other things like that. So, I think it'll be really fun. I think stuff like this is awesome. And I want to make probably something like this for EntrepreNerd, but not paid. Just a more direct community where people can talk to me. But that would only really be necessary if I built a much larger audience, right? So, who knows? But cool. We've only been going for about an hour. I don't have anything else to say. If anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot me a message. Whether you're on Twitch or you're on, I think we have 2 people watching on Twitch, and we have, what do we got? How many people watching on LinkedIn? We got 14 people watching on LinkedIn. This is a really nice turnout. I'm really happy with it. Anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot me a message. And check out LaunchPass if you wanna build like online communities. So I think it's a really, really cool group, and I'm gonna be promoting it as much as I possibly can. So I'm gonna be talking to MakerPad.co, the owner of that. I think his name's Ben, which is like the coolest project that he's working on, and I want to get him on the show next, hopefully, so we can just kind of have a conversation about that stuff, and maybe build something together. Who knows? That'd be dope. But no, for now, I'm done. I appreciate you all hopping on, and I hope to see you on the next stream. I do these every Saturday from 6:30 to 8 usually. We ended a little bit early today. But yeah, I'll see y'all soon. I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Bye. Hank says thanks, Seth. Thanks, Max. So when you watch this later, Seth, Hank is a G. He went to startup locally. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it, Yari. Awesomeness. I'll see y'all later. Have a great night. Bye.